It's the night of Christmas, and all throughout the house, all the children are wondering what's going on with Congress and the Senate House. But the chips are chipping and the birds are bursting. I'm wondering, you're wondering, where they're going to get this done and how soon we're going to get to the finish line. It's a Merry Christmas for all, and for all, a good evening, and certainly not just for tonight. The question is, when will Congress stop being Grinches and start delivering the holiday spirit? The question is, when will Congress get it right and finally give the holiday cheer that millions of Americans need? When will they crush the Kringle? This is a special holidays edition on Christmas Day and also the 8-month anniversary of LALATE. This is Holidays LALATE. Hey, good day, everybody, and Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Day, and this is a special, of course, recording of Holidays LALATE. I'm so glad you're joining me today, and I'm glad that you joined me last night for our Christmas party on this channel. The suggestion of viewers of this channel to have a Christmas party amid confusion and concern and doubt and wonderment and also hope and optimism for your second stimulus check, second stimulus package, state stimulus, and also third stimulus. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, because this really is a community. It's a community that is filled with love, warmth, spirit, optimism, and community helping one another. 15 volunteers that dedicated their time and effort over the last few weeks to ensure that thousands of viewers of this channel got rent stimulus, got food stimulus, got utility stimulus, and I'm dearly grateful to those people who volunteered their services to the viewers of this channel. Also, viewers of this channel have been able to keep their homes above their head, put food on the table, had their utilities paid, and their rent paid. When I talk about $500,000 gotten by viewers of this channel because of the state stimulus coverage of this channel over the last few weeks, I'm not underestimating the number. The stories of championing by these viewers is absolutely overwhelming. So please subscribe. I'll have more about that in a second. Also, like this video. By subscribing and hitting the alert video and hitting the bell at the front of this channel, you don't miss a video when I'm going live, but you may miss Santa. In this video, I'll be going over what's the current update on your second stimulus check, your second stimulus package, third stimulus check, and third stimulus package. But I'll more importantly have a big message of optimism and spirit and hope going forward, which has always been the spirit of this channel. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that this is Christmas Day. And while Christmas Day may be often filled with images of spine, toys and gifts and spending and capitalism at its best, Christmas is also about optimism and helping people, and also providing spirit, comfort, and love, and health and safety during the holiday season. And by all accounts, the viewers of this channel have already championed that. In the last few weeks, viewers of this channel have gotten incredible state stimulus and still can get state stimulus. Viewers have absolutely told incredible stories in private messages, in DMs, in messages to this channel, because of United Way, Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul, that have done incredible work as nonprofits, providing rent stimulus, food stimulus, utility stimulus. Then other organizations like Toys for Dots, giving kids gifts during this holiday season if they're 16 years of age or younger. And then governments, local, city and county, whether it's San Bernardino County or San Diego County or City of Nashville with the horrible explosion earlier today, or City of Atlanta, providing rent stimulus, free rent to viewers of this channel throughout this holiday season to ensure that they have a roof over their heads. Viewers of this channel have understood the importance of state stimulus That's rent, $5, $10, $15, $20,000, and they've gotten it, and you can too. The rent stimulus covered on Purple and Purple Power Live every day on evenings, afternoons, and evenings at LALATE provides you the opportunity to find the rent stimulus so that your rent is covered not for a month, but 6, 12 months. And the spirit of helping, the spirit of thankfulness, is the spirit of the volunteers of this channel. Approximately 15 people who stepped up and said, I want to be a volunteer. I want to help other people. I didn't ask them to volunteer. They did it on their own accord. And daily, they do 30, 40, 50, 60 cases helping viewers of this channel get free rent, get utilities, get food, and get toys. They're divided between Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at news.lalate.com/community. That's the real spirit of community service. But more about me. When I first pressed record on this channel 8 months ago today, I did so on an empty beach in Hermosa Beach amid a lockdown in California, unsure what I was doing, but focused on what my path was to get you money, to fight and get you money, to help you figure out how to get that money. I wasn't here to read a news report. LALATE already was a news site, so there's no reason to read someone else's news recordings. The purpose was to get people money because people were unable to figure out how to get that EIDL, how to get that PUA, how to get that UI, how to get that FPUC. How do you get this stuff? It seems so confusing and no one was helping you. Call lines and all the call centers of the state unemployment offices were down. They weren't able to answer the phone. Call centers at SBA became the subject of an entire comedy series on this channel. Javita Light and Blaine 66, people who never would answer your questions, even when escalated to tier 2. So someone needs to help your questions. There needed to be someone to actually go over your questions and concerns. And I don't mean just reading the script. I meant actually answering your questions. In the first few months of this channel, I read first 50 comments a video, then 200, then 300, then 500, and then 1,000 comments a video. Videos are going up to 30 minutes in length because I was answering all these incredible questions to get people money. And in those early first months of this channel, got viewers $25 to $35 million in EIDL money. But what's important to understand is the stories that came with it. There were incredible stories which I've never revealed on this channel to today. I had people like a wonderful dog groomer in Colorado who is 24 hours away from laying off their entire staff of 5. That staff of 5 would lose their homes, lose their income, lose everything. Payroll was the next 24 hours. And with her and with me, together we fought to get her EIDL loan and her EIDL grant. Those jobs were saved, their homes were saved, and the person saved their business as well. Then I had other people, the Vortex viewers, the 330, the 48. Those were people who applied for an EIDL on March 30th and April 8th, who for reasons I identified, they were stuck in a vortex. Their applications were never processed and they never got a penny. And for weeks on end, they saw other people process before them. The importance of bringing this up now is because this will be happening again in January as Joe Biden in third stimulus reopens EIDL grant for everyone, and I fully expect problems. I expect other people to get paid before you, other people to jump in line, other people to jump ahead of you. And what's important to understand is how you get paid, not just reading the news article. And over the next few weeks, things changed. With EIDL, I had one person who had not one, but 3 EIDL applications for 3 businesses that employed 6, 7 people out of South Florida near the Texas border. All those people's lives and livelihoods were on the line. I saved not one, but all 3 of those businesses saved about 10 people's lives and livelihoods and homes. And because of those people are forever my friends, and I'm their friends as well. But along the way, there were very sad moments, some which I couldn't detail on camera, some which I did, and some which I had problems detailing. As a new person on a recording, I had never appeared on camera before, and I had pressed a recording, suddenly I was reading the script, and then someone said, "Oh, and yesterday my employee couldn't take it any longer," and ended their life. To read stories of suicide right on camera during a recording, live, taped, but without pre-reading the script, without pre-reading the comments of the video, I was overwhelmed. And then I had incredible senses of hope. There was Aaron, my truck driver, whose story you'll forever be ingrained in the history of this channel. He was a viewer who gave up. He gave up before I came along, a truck driver who drove around the country, who had applied for unemployment assistance, applied for EIDL, had waited for a stimulus check, had got to none of the three things because of the acts of Congress and the acts of SBA. But along the way, unbeknownst to me, he was watching all the videos of this channel, the unemployment assistance videos, learning how to do modifications to his application, watching the EIDL videos and wondering what may have gone wrong that he needed to fix, and watching the stimulus check videos slowly over time. And then one morning, everything changed. His wife came to him and said, "Look, there's a check in the mail for $500 for unemployment." He said, "Honey, that's not $500. It's $5,000. And then one morning he woke up and SBA had sent him a letter. $150,000. $150,000. Imagine going from zero to nearly $200,000 because of this channel in just a few days. He said he absolutely lost it. I lost it as well because he said he had given up hope until I had come along. His message broke me down in tears on camera, but it also inspired the stories of other truck drivers who along the way were also watching this channel, and Uber and Lyft drivers who were having the same problems. And together, one by one, they turned the course. There's Sharon, who was an early viewer of this channel, who I remember from the earliest recordings where I was live on the beaches of Redondo Beach. And he said, "LALATE, why don't you just do this?" And that simple little message to me helped save this channel in the early days of this channel. Had he not sent me that private message about how to modify something in the channel, this channel may not have existed. Along the ways, I helped him. And he was denied his EIDL. He was given a very nominal EIDL of $500. He waited and waited and waited. He eventually got $15,000. And then there's Kevin Lee. He was facing homelessness. He was about to lose the family's dairy farm. He was losing everything. He got a grant program, which we now call state stimulus, to provide money for him for rent at a city out of Texas. It provided his family half a year of rent. And then he got the ability to get his PUA case reversed, and he got $15,000 for PUA, on top of EIDL grant and on top of EIDL loan. The reason I bring this up is not to talk about me, but to talk about the spirit of this channel, which in this holiday season has been the spirit of fighting and becoming one, and fighting to get to the finish line. The finish line is always moving. The goalposts are always moving. Congressional leaders or SBA is always trying to move it. And ultimately, along the way, there have been naysayers. There's always someone that sends me a comment. Don't tell them there's a stimulus check because it hasn't come yet. Don't talk about state stimulus because it's not stimulus. Money is money. Money is money. And if a viewer can get $5,000 or $10,000 from one program, it doesn't make a difference if it's called apples or oranges. And that's what the viewers have learned. State stimulus checks have arrived. State stimulus checks are still being paid. They're confirmed. Third stimulus is simply being drafted. Second stimulus has been passed by Act of Congress but has not been signed by the president. And ultimately, the viewers of this channel are far more sophisticated than the naysayers will ever say. They simply know now elements of Congress that they never wished to ever know, like what's a stopgap or what's an entitlement or what is a pocket veto. But along the ways, they have never fallen for any sort of anything but facts. Facts are truth, and with truth, they're empowered to get what they're owed. There was someone that said earlier today in a Twitter comment that the purple power was simply causing chaos in different directions. Oh no. The purple power came out of accident. After I was wearing purple shirts on the set, people called me Mr. Purple, and I said, well, you have the purple power. You can go do it as well. And purple power became an accident after I started referring to viewers as purple power. Suddenly I realized that we could change the narrative. And as we sit here today, ultimately, no one may look back on the history that Purple Power made, or we may not be in the history books, but Purple Power knows the impact that we made. Along the ways, lots of achievements have been achieved, but the most recent one was to put stimulus in a continuing resolution bill. No one was going to have stimulus in this continuing resolution bill until Purple Power came along with the hashtag CR for stimulus. It wasn't even an issue. There was not going to be any stimulus in the month of December at all unless Purple Power stepped up, and we did. CR for stimulus was a hit. It happened. Suddenly there was stimulus in the CR, but there wasn't the right stimulus. There was no stimulus check. Today someone sent me a tweet that said, Democrats were always going to give you $1,200 of stimulus. No, they weren't. They weren't going to give you any stimulus. The truth of the situation was the problem creators had drafted after CR for stimulus was a hit, had drafted a proposal, and that proposal was supported by the Democrats. No stimulus checks whatsoever. Zero stimulus. And that started Purple Power's campaign of stimulus checks or shutdown. Purple Power, singularly in history, is responsible for the stimulus checks in the CR bill. Whether or not history reflects it, we know what's that history. Stimulus checks or shutdown was started on this channel. And 2 weeks later, Bernie Sanders and Josh Hawley stepped up and said, you need stimulus checks in this. No one else stepped up. No one else stepped up and gave a dollar value to the stimulus check. We did. Slowly, they didn't stand up enough. And after the stimulus package was approved with $600, we said it was not sufficient. And guess what? It's not sufficient. As you start the new morning, Democrats are trying to take ownership and claim that they always wanted to give you a stimulus check in the CR. Not true. They weren't going to even give you stimulus in the CR, let alone a stimulus check. In fact, they backed a bill with no stimulus. Republicans are trying to make it sound like they always wanted to give you a stimulus check. Also untrue. Josh Hawley was the only Republican in the Senate that stepped up to provide an argument for a stimulus check. And his argument was not consistent, but it was strong, and it was powerful, and it was greatly appreciated. And so now as we sit here today, where is your stimulus check? What's going on today is that there is what's called a procedural situation where the bill has been voted upon, has been proved, no amendment has been enacted, and where the bill is now is literally in Florida. The bill was airshifted to Florida to arrive at the president's residency in South Florida. He has until Sunday to either accept, reject, or do nothing, or veto. And he may do nothing. If he does nothing, the federal government shuts down. The shutting down of the federal government means nothing about your unemployment, about your Social Security benefits, but your SSI, your PUA and UI will expire this Sunday. And then ultimately what's going to happen on Monday is Nancy Pelosi will call the Democrats in the House for a vote to pass an amendment only to do one of four things the president has asked for: a stimulus check, not taking out the $8 billion for foreign governments, which the president and social media and much of America is asked to remove. She refuses to remove it because she put it in there. It doesn't belong in there. It's a disgrace. And the supporting of it is an absolute horrid disgrace. She should be ashamed of herself. Also, there's $1 billion in there for the Smithsonian Institute. This is an emergency bill during the pandemic. Also a disgrace. She should be ashamed of herself. The Republicans on the other side should be ashamed of themselves. They're doing deflection. They are in the reverse are vowing to take out the Smithsonian, take out the federal governments, but not standing in support of the leader of their party, the President of the United States, who's asked for $2,000 stimulus checks. They're not taking support. They're not backing his support. They're trying to deflect and not talk about the stimulus check. So you have one people on one side trying to do one of the four items and another group on the other side trying to do two of the four items. Neither group is trying to do four of the four items. No one's supporting your interests. No one's supporting the president's interests. No one's supporting anyone's interests except foreign governments. This is not about foreign governments. It's about us. And so next week, you're going to see a lot of confusion. There is, of course, no statement out from Mitch McConnell. If you've seen throughout the day, I've said that Mitch McConnell's best move is to do exactly what the president said, put it for vote in the Senate, and if it fails, it fails. If it passes, it passes. Ultimately, he did what the president said. It's that type of spirit for the holiday season, doing what you're supposed to do, not doing what's supposed to be negative or partisan. The Republicans and Democrats have kicked the can, pushed us down the road, delayed and delayed, both sides, both parties for months. It's time to stop doing this. It's time to give America what they need. But despite all that, state stimulus is available for you right now. So join me on Afternoons LALATE for Purple, which follows Afternoons Check. I'll go over more about how you can get that rent, food, and utilities right now. And then join me on the new hit show, Third Stimulus, coming up later today as well. As always, Merry Christmas. Thank you for the 8 months of success. This is a very new channel. A very new channel. And at 8 months, we're competing and doing the best we can and trying to improve by the moment. We improve as you improve. Thank you for your patronage, and see you later today.